Yeah, that is IAC International and Law Consult. IAC, we are into research, education, short-term courses and training, and we render consultancy as well. Law Consult is into consultancy and training. So we are similar organization. IAC render research, consultancy, training, and short courses. Law Consult is also into consultancy and training. So we welcome all of you into this particular training on cross-cultural leadership in international organization. The conference is going to be 2 sessions. The first session will deal with the cross-cultural leadership in international cooperation. And the second session, that will be the first session. After the first session delivering, there will be question and answers. Then a break, should I say a break, a 5 minutes break will come. Then the second session will also come and deliver. Then we also welcome question and answers. So it's a packed conference, and we pray the others join us so that we all share together. And this is a paid conference. So on registration, we haven't received anything from any of the regis. So we have a number here. If you are ready, that the Momo, you want to take it 054-870-4485. You pay. We said those in Ghana have to pay 400, and those from outside, if you are from outside, but if you are in Ghana, you can also pay the 400. Those from outside have to pay 50 euro. But if you are in Ghana, you can also pay. So the Momo number, we pray that on registration, nobody has paid. So as you come, we welcome you to do your payments as well too. So the number again, I'm repeating the number. We are hoping to have a very interesting session. We are believing.
Prof, if you can kindly leave the number.
Yeah, this is the number.
In the chat box, please.
Okay, I'm leaving the number in the chat box. Okay, I will do that. So you can pick the number in the chat box and do your payment for us, please. That is my colleague you heard speaking, from the lead consultant from the Law Consult. So I'm leaving the number in the chat. Oh, madam, can you put it over there for me? Put it over there for me. Doc, put it over there for me. So we are starting. I will go slowly for the case of others we are waiting. So introduction. Introduction. Cross-cultural leadership. We are looking at cross-cultural leadership in international organization, or for that matter, cross-cultural leadership. If you find yourself leading across Ghana, you've entered into a cross-cultural leadership. Any leadership performance outside your country, or sometimes it can be in your own country, internal. For example, you move from serving to nothing. We can also term it as cross-cultural leadership. Because as soon as you move from serving Ghana to serving Ghana, you are going to meet a lot of ethnic groups. And how do you handle these ethnic groups to work productively? Or you move from Ghana, outside Ghana, your leadership has taken you from Ghana to other nations. How do you bring them together to have a successive productive or production? That is what we are coming to look at. So we say cross-cultural leadership refers to the ability to effectively lead and manage individuals from diverse culture background. Cross-cultural leadership refers to the ability to effectively lead and manage individuals from diverse culture background. It involves understanding culture dynamics that influence leader or that influence team behavior, communication style, and decision process. Cross-cultural leadership involves understanding culture dynamics. You need to understand the dynamics that involves in culture, the various kind of culture groups that influence a team. As a leader, you should be able to influence your team behavior. Or in simple put, you should be in position to influence your team. Now, if you don't know these culture dynamics, it becomes very difficult to have influence in your team. And as a leader, if you're unable to influence your team, the progress of the team becomes very impaired. If you are able to influence your team, the team cannot work effectively. So you should know the cultural dynamics that influence the team's behavior, communication style. So cultural dynamics or cross-cultural leadership or leading across a cultural backgrounds involves a lot of learning. Let me say that. You have to know the communication style and decision processes. You have to know the communication styles and decision processes. You have to know the communication style and decision processes of the team. Leaders in cross-cultural environments value and respect diversity. As a leader in cross-cultural environment, you need to value and respect diversity. The different kind of people you are dealing with, you need to value them and you need to respect them. Are sensitive to difference because they are very sensitive to difference in communication style and customs and work towards sharing the goal. So you need to know this so that you bring them together and work towards a shared goal. The global nature of today's business environment necessitates leaders who can effectively navigate diverse cultural landscape. In today's environment that we find ourselves, every leader, especially if you want to be a cross-cultural leader, then you should know how to navigate cultural landscapes. If you cannot do that, it will be very difficult for you to lead in this today environment. In this global world, the dynamics leadership have evolved to encompass diverse cultural contexts. Today environment, even if you are leading in Ghana, you should be able to be somebody who can deal with cross-cultural leadership, because sometimes in your organization, you meet different kind of people. How do you bring these people together to produce effectively? Even in Ghana, some of organizations deals with different kind of people, which I can say cross-culture, different kind from diverse background, from different places. They will not be necessarily Ghanaians. How do you bring them together to effectively produce? Still on introduction. Cross-cultural leadership involves guiding teams in diverse culture setting. You as a cross-cultural leader, you should be able to be in positions to guide a team from a different background by understanding and leveraging varied perspectives. The theory highlights the importance of cross-cultural intelligence, adaptability, empathy, and inclusiveness. Key characters include deep culture awareness, adaptive communication, and continuous learning. As I said from the beginning, cross-culture leadership, you should be able to be aware of the different or the diverse group you are dealing with. Adopt the communication, adaptive communication. Sometimes, if possible, you should be able to adopt their communication styles. And it's continuous learning, because you need some essential skills to apprehend this cross-cultural leadership. Essential skills are cross-cultural awareness. You have to be aware of the different group you are handling. You have to be empathy, conflict, because you are handling with different resolution. There should be conflict resolution. You are always you need to resolve, which is one of the risks that will come out clearly in the risks, the risks associated with cross-cultural leadership for the second speaker. And adoptive of culture style. For the culture style, you cannot lead without the adoption of the culture styles. It will be very difficult for you. The communication, adopting of the communication style. At least you should be able to be going with 2 or 3 communication. You should be able to communicate, at least speak later of the people, the different kind of people you are handling. You should be able to, I don't know how to say good morning, how are you doing? Yes, it will bring some gladness if you can greet some of the people you are dealing with in their language. You study their language and you can say, how are you? How are you? They feel they also belongs. They will feel if you greet them, you check on them in their language, they will also feel they belongs. Now let's look at concept in cross-cultural leadership. Concept in cross-cultural leadership. Concept in cross-cultural leadership. Globalization has fundamentally transformed the landscape of leadership, necessitating a deep understanding of culture diversity and adaptive leadership skill. Globalization has fundamentally transformed the landscape of leadership, necessitating a deep understanding of culture diversity and adaptive leadership skill. As business expand beyond their boundaries, leaders are increasingly faced with the challenge of managing teams composed of individuals from a wide range of cultural backgrounds. So as your business is moving, and for those from my dear ministry I'm dealing with, Deeper Life Ministry, I got to know that you can also face with a lot of cross-cultural background, because you have some of the churches in Liberia. So as soon as you move from Ghana boundaries and you move to Nigeria, you move to Liberia, you have entered into, your leadership has entered into cross-cultural leadership. And therefore, you have to be somebody blessed with cross-cultural background to lead over there. And as I started, even if you move from Southern to Northern Ghana, I will also term that type of leadership as cross-cultural leadership, because you are going to meet with different ethnic groups. And if you cannot coexist with this kind of leadership, it will be very, very difficult for you. You have to learn their language. You have to deal with them. Sometimes even not, you don't have to be blessed with the whole, but some small portion, if you can say certain things. So you have to learn. You have to learn before you can lead them effectively. This global integration has led to a more interconnected and interdependent world, where the ability to navigate cultural nuances is not just advantage, but essential for effective leadership. Now there is a lot of connection. We have interconnected with each other. Ghana cannot exist alone. So if you are a company leading, then know that your company cannot exist alone. You have to connect with the outside world before your company can produce effectively. So cross-cultural leadership is not just an advent, but it's essential for every leader to be abreast with cross-cultural leadership. It is essential. So as part of the concept, we see, what do we see in the background? We see UK, we see US, different kind of people coming together, working. And they need to understand themselves. They need to trust themselves. They need to join hands for one common good. That is cross-cultural leadership. And in doing that, they need to survive in whatever decision. They need to accept, they need to agree on whatever decision they are taking. So let's look at diversity, culture diversity. Culture diversity. Diversity refers to a wide range of differences within a group of organization, including difference in race, ethnic, gender, age, sexual orientation, religion, and cultural backgrounds. Now, when you are a leader leading this diverse group, then you need to be careful. You need to agree in their racism, ethnicity, believe in the gender, they believe in their age, and more especially sexual orientation. When I'm saying sexual orientation, I'm not saying you should believe in homosexuality, but you have to be somebody who tune himself to accept the people he's dealing with. What I mean, you need to accept them, whomever they are. You need to accept them before you can coexist with them. To be productive, you need to accept them. You need to accept them. So I have something here. Embracing diversity is essential for fostering innovation, creativity, and organizational success. We as leaders need to embrace the diversity of people that we are dealing with. You have to embrace them. It is upon embracing them that you can bring them together to foster innovation, creativity, and organizational success, to build or to bring success to the organization, unless you embrace them. Research by Coase and Blake emphasized the importance of promoting diversity in leadership role to drive innovation and adaptability in the face of a complex challenge. So a research conducted by Coase and Blake was saying that the importance of promoting diversity in leadership role is to drive innovation, adaptability in the complex organization that you may find yourself. Whatever complex, if you embrace culture diversity, you will be able to overcome whatever complexity and challenges as a leader. That is what the research is saying, that embracing cultural diversity is important to promote diversity in leadership role, to drive innovation, adaptability, and creativity. So we as leaders need to embrace cultural diversity. If you are a leader across, or if you're moving from southern Ghana to the northern Ghana, where you are going to meet different ethnic groups, deal with different ethnic. If you don't adapt this diversity, to be very, very difficult. Your leadership will be very, very difficult. So I've put in the background the different kind of people that you have to deal with. And when you are able to bring them together, research said it brings productivity and success. It brings success. One thing, cultural diversity is very difficult, but if you are able to manage them, there's always success in productivity, because you are dealing with different kinds of people with different background, different skill, and you need to bring all these skills together. You need to bring it together to boost productivity. So it's up to you, the leader, to see how you are going to embrace them, bring them together, value them, respect them, and let them feel they belong to, so that they will also contribute towards the common goal. I want us to look at culture sensitivity in leadership. Culture sensitivity in leadership. Culture sensitivity in leadership is the ability to be aware of and understand the cultural differences between oneself and others, and to adapt one's leadership style to better accommodate those differences. So that is culture sensitivities. How you be aware and understand the differences. You have to be aware that if you are a Ghanaian and you are living in Nigeria, you have to be aware that you are no longer in Ghana. You are in Nigeria. And there will be differences in culture, differences in the way of doing things differences in the way they speak, and differences in the way they understand you. And you have to come down and adapt all this and bring them together. And one good thing about culture sensitivity and diversity is that if you are able to bring them together, it boosts production. It boosts production. It increases production. It increases production. That is one good thing. If you are able to bring them together, it boosts production. Even from Southern Ghana to Northern Ghana, you go there and whomever they are, you value them, you respect them. They also cherish you and they contribute immensely to whatever you are doing, be it a ministry or like if you go there and you don't value them, you don't respect them. Sometimes you visit them, they will give you water, and the water is far different from what you used to drink in Southern Ghana here. But at least you need to have a taste of it before them, for them to feel that you classify them as part of you. And if you are able to do that, it boosts production. They also feel belonging and they contribute immensely. Leaders who are in cross-culture sensitivity are more likely to be successful in achieving their goals, as they will be better able to understand the empathy with the people they are dealing with. If you understand them and you empathize with them, you are able to be successful. Because, as you move with them and you are leading them, you are steadying them and they are also steadying you. And if they feel you don't respect them, they don't give you their best. But if they realize that you bring them together and you feel they are also part, they contribute immensely to whatever you are doing, be it ministry or productivity. They contribute. They will give you their commitment. They will give you their commitment. And whatever you are doing will be progressive. It will progress. Additionally, they will be better equipped to handle any challenges or conflicts that might arise due to cultural difference. Additionally, they will be better equipped to handle any challenges or conflict that may arise due to cultural differences. So once you open it to sensitivities, you will be more equipped. They will also be more equipped to handle any challenges, conflict. You shouldn't forget that when it comes to cross-cultural leadership, you are going to face with a lot of challenges. Some of the challenges or the risks that you are going to encounter is conflict management. Conflict management will be very immense, and you should be somebody abreast with how to manage conflict. You have to be a leader who knows how to handle conflict. If you are unable to handle that, it will create a lot of problems. You should be a listening leader. You shouldn't be a leader that will listen to one person and start judging the other. Listen to them and see how you sit down with them to resolve any conflicts that might come during your leadership. Understanding the cultural backgrounds of colleagues is crucial to successful leadership. Cultural sensitivities can be developed through training and continuous education. For you to let them know the cultural differences that you are dealing with, you have to be doing a lot of training, a lot of education. That is how cross-cultural leadership, for everybody to understand the environment in which you find yourself. There should be a lot of training, education, continuous learning, so that you all understand yourself and then see the environment you find yourself. When this happens, it brings oneness, and understanding and success in the leadership. So, cultural sensitivity, you see the different groups, and you should know what I'm saying here. You should know how to say hello in French, hello in even Chinese language, hello in this language, bonjour. You should know how, you should be abreast with those things. So that as soon as you go to work as the leader, you meet French person, bonjour. You meet English person, hello. You meet Chinese, then how they say it, you should be able to at least come out with all this, and you will see that they will all be happy anytime receiving you. Yeah. Let's look at importance of cross-cultural leadership. Importance of cross-cultural leadership. Cross-cultural leadership is beneficial for several reasons. It's very, very important for several reasons. One, or firstly, it boosts inclusiveness and equity within the organization so that all the team members, regardless of their background, feel valued and respected. One important is bring inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means bringing everybody together for them to feel they are all part of the organization. Equity, treating them equally. That is equity, treating them equally. You don't know how maybe you have 3 Ghanaians, you don't treat the 3 Ghanaians different and treat the other colleagues from Nigeria, Liberia also differences. Let all of them, there should be inclusiveness and equity. Bring them together. Treat them equally. And you see they will all feel belonging and valued, and they will contribute their quota. This creates a positive working environment conducive to collaboration and productivity. When you bring them together, it creates a positive work environment conducive to collaboration and productive. Secondly, cross-cultural leadership leads to innovation and creativity within a team. When making the best use of diverse perspectives, leaders can unlock a new insight and approaches to problem solving. Cross-cultural leadership leads to innovation and creativity because, you know, Nigerians are known as people who are very good in IT. So if you have an IT guy in your team from Nigeria, Ghanaians are also known as people with a knowledge of management. So when you bring good IT, good management, good accountant from Liberia, you see how your team are going to perform. And if you are able to tap them well and bring them together, it will even lead to unlocking new insights and approaches to solve problems. You see, if you are a leader, you should know how to tap professionalism or skill of a team member, how to bring it up. So if they have the skill and you are a leader who can also polish these skills, who can bring these skills up, there will be a very, let me say, marvelous performance, very good performance in your team, which will lead to a high productivity for the entire organization, leading to more innovation, solutions, and products. Thirdly, in an connected world, Businesses often operate in global markets. Effective cross-cultural leadership means organizations can navigate cultural nuances, build relationship with shareholders from a diverse background, and adopt their strategies to different cultural contexts. If even you are a leader that deals with a lot of organization, it improves your skills. Even if you are a professional like academia that deal with a lot of people from different backgrounds, or you've had an outside taste and you deal with a lot of people, it improves your skill than somebody, excuse me to say, in Ghana alone without moving anywhere. Because it helps you, the reason why it improves your skill is it helps you to learn from a lot of different backgrounds. You learn from a lot of people. As you lead them, you are also learning from them. And at the end of it all, it improves your skill. It improves, even as a leader, it improves your skill and improves productivity. So you see professionals who move outside and deal with a lot of different cultural groups improve their skill, and they have a high professional ability, high professional experiences than those who doesn't move outside. Because they, as they moved and lead, they acquire a lot of skills and experiences from different kind of people, which in turn improve their skills. Let's look at 5 dimensions of cross-cultural leadership. 5 dimensions of cross-cultural leadership. 1, connection. 5 dimensions of cross-cultural leadership. Connection. Building relational knowledge within a cross-cultural teams is essential for trust, collaboration, and cohesion. When team members from different cultural backgrounds feel understanding and value, they are more likely to contribute their unique perspective and ideas, leading to enhanced creativity and problem solving. Connection. It brings this word. We are in this world with connectivity. How much, how far you have connected also tells how you can increase productivity. So when you are connected more to a lot of people, you can able to even do a lot of collaboration, which will enhance productivity. You have people to collaborate with in terms of need. If you want to do something, you can easily collaborate. You have people you can collaborate with and boost productivity. That is what I mean by connection. So, and as you do that, you put your trust and everything together. Let the people you connected see you, see your knowledge, see your behavior, see your value, so that when they are doing something with you, they can freely, without entertaining any entertaining any, what word should I use? Without entertaining any fears. Let them have the trust in you that you are capable. You have the good moral. It's connection. And that, therefore, if you show them all the skills in you and the good things in you, when they are connecting with you, they don't entertain any fears. They also freely come together and collaborate and boost production with you. Then curiosity. Curiosity plays a vital role in cross leadership, as it encourages leaders and team members to approach cultural differences with an open-minded and willingness to learn. Leaders should cultivate curiosity by avoiding judgment and instead ask questions that promote understanding and empathy. So you have to be somebody who is curious, willing to know, willing to understand, and all those things encourages you and help you to have open mind and willingness to learn. Why is this done this way? Why are they doing this way? You know, when you see them, you are in a team with somebody and you see the person doing something that you can easily do in something you can do it in different way. He's doing it a different way. You have to be curious to know why he's doing that. Maybe at the end of it can bring a new way of doing something that you don't know. Even though you know how to do it, you can also develop and learn a new way of doing it. You have to be curiosity in whatever is happening. Have an open mind, and it will help product boost productivity. To help you as a leader also increase your understanding and the way of doing things. Clarity. The third dimension is clarity. Clarity in cross-cultural leadership is crucial for aligning, understanding, and cohesion within the team. Clarity. And for clarity, it's not only in cross-cultural leadership, clarity as a leader is very, very important. Everything that whatever you are doing should be clear with the people you are leading. What they should understand whatever you are doing. No, the clarity move with transparency. Let them see everything is whatever you are doing is transparent. And you see how willingly they will also contribute to you. You see, I think clarity teams or organizational culture, mission, value, and norms through open discussion and regular communication. Be clear, communicate with them, do opening discussion with them. Don't just have the idea and just instruct. Be clear. Let them know why you are doing it this way, why you are taking this course. Regularly communicate with them. So when it happens so, you see their commitment and contribution. Then the fourth dimension is commitment. Commitment. Commitment is integral to transforming cross-cultural leadership into tangible outcomes. Leaders absolutely must encourage commitment among team members by emphasizing the importance of practices, celebrating moments of commitment and progresses, and modeling accountability, commitment, and modeling accountability. You should be somebody who is also willing to be accountable for whatever decision. Encourage and commitment among team members by emphasizing the importance of practices, celebrating moments of commitment and progresses. When you see somebody committing, celebrate. Encourage the person, celebrate. That is the third dimension of cross-cultural leadership. Then communication. Effective communication is needed when maneuvering through cultural differences and collaboration within a cross-cultural teams. Leaders should employ strategies and emphasize active listening, empathy, opening dialogue, and culture sensitivities. Bring all these together, communicate, dialogue with them of which course to take. These are all dimensions. And when you do that, it promotes productivity in cross-cultural leadership. That is the 5 dimensions in cross-cultural leadership. So now, let's look at challenges in cross-cultural leadership. You cannot lead in cross-cultural environment without challenges. So let's look at this. Let's look at some of the challenges in cross-cultural environment. Ignoring cross-cultural challenges can have detrimental effects on team dynamism, performance, and organization success. So as a leader, you cannot ignore cross-cultural challenges. It can have a detrimental effects on your team dynamics, performance, and overall success of the organization. So you should acknowledge challenges. Failure to address these challenges can lead to erosion of trust and respect, reducing innovation and creativity, increasing conflicts and discommunication, and diminishing global competitiveness. So you should know how to address these challenges, other than that it can lead to erosion of trust. If you are not able, you are a cross-cultural leader, and you are not able to address cross-cultural leadership where, one, you will lose trust and respect. It will reduce innovation and creativity because your team people will not be giving out their best, their innovation and creativeness. Increased conflict. There will be a lot of conflict. Then miscommunication. When you communicate, they will not understand. And even it will diminish your global competitiveness. You cannot compete globally. You cannot compete globally. Erosion of trust. When cross-cultural challenges are overlooked, it can lead to significant erosion of trust within the team. Team members may feel undervalued or misunderstood, leading to a breakdown in trust and respect. This can undermine team cohesion, morale, and ultimate productivity. Ultimately, it's going to affect productivity. Research suggests that with a high level of trust, performance, research suggests that teams with high level of trust perform better and more innovative. When teams has high level of trust, it could be in you, the leader, they produce well, and there is more innovation. According to a study by Great Place to Work Institution, companies with high level of trust experience 50% high productivity and 75% low employee turnover rate compared to those with low level of trust. I'm repeating it. According to the study by a Great Place to Work Institute, companies with a high level of trust experience 50% higher productivity and 74% low employee turnover compared to those with low level of trust. When there is a trust, there's a high productivity of 50% high productivity, and 75% of employee turnover. That is how the rate at which employees leave the organization is very, very low, 70%. See, so cross-cultural leadership programs need not to be overlooked. Reduction in innovation and creativity. Failure to address cross-cultural challenges stifles the creativity potential of the team. When the team members from different cultural backgrounds do not feel included or understanding, they're less likely to contribute their unique insight and idea. These homogenizations of thought limit innovations and problem-solving capability within the organization. A research conducted by McKinsey's company found that diverse teams are 33% more likely to outperform homogeneous teams in terms of profitability. This highlights the importance of leveraging diverse to drive innovation and creativity. The research conducted by McKinsey is saying that a diverse team, when you have a team with people, are 30% more likely to outperform than homogeneous team, a team that is made up of maybe only Ghanaians. Yes, and drive innovation. Drive innovation. So when we are leading cross-culturally and we manage them well, there is likely of high productivity. There's likelihood of high productivity. Increased conflict and miscommunication. Cross-cultural challenges often manifested in misunderstanding and misinterpretation, which can escalate into conflicts and create toxic work environment. Miscommunication due to cultural differences can lead to frustration, resentment, and breakdown in collaboration within the organization. According to a survey conducted by Society for Human Resource Management, 80% of employees report that poor communication contribute to their stress level, while 70% believe that miscommunication lead to misunderstanding. A research conducted by Human Resource Management, 80% of employees reported that a poor communication contributes to their stress level. So if you're a leader, then you have to learn how to communicate well. If you are unable to communicate well to the audience, they are saying it increases their stress level. And when their stress level is increased, it means they are going to perform poorly. And 70% believe that miscommunication leads to misunderstanding. And when there is a team and misunderstood themselves, it means they are going to produce very, very low. There will not be production or productivity at all. Then reduction in global competitiveness. Failure to address cross-cultural challenges compromise an organization's ability to operate effectively in global markets. It can hinder effort to attract talent, collaboration with partners, and serve customers from diverse cultural backgrounds. This will in turn can impede the organization growth and competitiveness on the global stage. Yeah. So it means that failure to address cross-cultural challenges can lead to impediment of the organization growth, and the organization cannot compete globally. You see, but if you are in global, your organization is in global and you cannot compete globally, it means that you have to come back home. Yes, you need to compete in the global market. You need to compete. Research by Harvard Business Review found that companies with diverse leadership teams are 45% more likely to report growth in their market share and 70% more likely to capture a new market compared to those with homogeneous leadership. So a research conducted by Harvard Business Review found that companies with diverse leadership teams are more likely to report growth in market share and 70% more likely to capture a new market compared to those with homogeneous leadership teams. So, cross-cultural leadership, conflict resolution. So now, let's look at strategies for cultivating cross-cultural leadership. Strategy for cultivating cross-cultural leadership. Cultivating cross-cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence is the cornerstone of effective cross-cultural leadership. Leaders must develop a deep understanding of cross-cultural background of their team's members, including their value, beliefs, and communication. To cultivate a cross-cultural intelligence, he said, is the cornerstone of effective cultural leadership. Leaders must develop a deep understanding of cross-cultural background of their team members, including their values, beliefs, and communication. If you want to cultivate their intelligence, then this is what you need to do. Embracing and encouraging diversity, one strategy. You have to embrace and encourage diversity. Diverse teams are shown to be more creative and innovative. Leaders should embrace diversity, not just in hiring, but in all aspects of the team management. Encourage open dialogues and mutual respect among the team members. When we embrace and encourage cultural diversity, it increases productivity. Promoting inclusive decision-making. Involve members from diverse backgrounds in your decision-making process. Ensure a variety of prospects are considered, leading to more well-rounded and effective outcomes. When you are somebody, you are a cross-cultural leader who believe in inclusiveness, bringing all the members on board in decision-making, have dialogues with them, it brings a more well-rounded, effective outcomes. It means it enhances productivity. When you bring in, or when you adapt inclusiveness, permit all the members to add their voice to whatever decision, help them to contribute to whatever decision, whatever is on the table. It enhances productivity. It enhances productivity. Adaptive communication style. Adaptive, that is the fourth strategy. Adaptive communication style. Effective communication in cross-cultural leadership context often requires adopting one style to better fit the team's diverse need. Whether it is through embracing indirect communication or understanding role of non-verbal cues, all contribute to adaptive communication. And embracing indirect or direct helps to increase productivity. Yeah, we are still on strategies for cross-cultural leadership. Lead with empathy. Empathy is a powerful tool in leadership. In leadership arsenal, especially when leading a cross-culture. The ability to put oneself in another person's shoe, foster a trust and understanding, bridging culture gaps. So empathy, we should be able to be empathy on the members we are dealing with. You should be able to put yourself in one's shoe. If somebody is undergoing or is facing a problem, put yourself into it and you understand it better. When you are leading like that, it helps bridging cross-cultural gaps. Leading with empathy. Fostering, then the next one is foster a culture of continuous learning. You as a leader, cross-cultural leadership is a journey, not a destination. Encouraging ongoing learning and culture exchange within your organization and can help sustain dynamism and inclusive culture. So you should foster continuous learning. Cross-culture is a journey and not a destination. And therefore you have to be learning all the time, adopting new team, bringing in new team, and you see your organization moving. Implementing global leadership training, investing in leadership development programs that will focus on cross-cultural competency can prepare leaders at all levels to effectively navigate global challenges. So you should implement global leadership training. Another strategy, implementing global leadership training and investing in leadership development programs that will foster on cross-cultural competency can prepare leaders at all levels to effectively navigate global challenges. So that is what we have just: effective policy, sustainable coordination, quality training and support, meaningful engagement, strong accountability and oversight, robust data collection and transparency can foster a growth in cross-cultural leadership. Now, let's look at the last aspect. Let's look at the last aspect: ethics. Ethics and moral. Ethical and moral consideration of or in cross-cultural leadership. Ethics and moral considerations in cross leadership. Ethical consideration in cross leaderships are paramount for fostering inclusiveness and effective global organization. For effective global organization, these considerations involve navigating diverse value, norms, and communication style. 2, leaders' ethical compasses must be finely tuned to avoid imposing their own culture bias and others, recognizing that what is considerable ethic in one culture might not be in other. This requires culture sensitivity. So what is ethic in one culture might not be ethic in another. For example, when you come to Ghana, using your left hand is not accepted in Ghana. But when you go to China, using your left hand is nothing at all. So what might be ethic in one culture might not be or ethic. You have to be culture. You need to adopt culture sensitivity, which go beyond the surface level understanding and demanding a deeper appreciation of underlying beliefs and principles that shape people's behavior. So we need to study and understand ourselves, because what might be culture in one sense might not be culture in other. Ethical in one sense might not be culture in other sense. Cross-cultural leadership ethics is a crucial area that involves making principled decisions where respect and cultural difference of global workforce. Addressing this ethical consideration effectively is vital for maintaining integrity and fostering trust across the diverse team. Understanding cross-cultural ethics. When navigating the understanding cross-cultural ethics. When navigating the intricacies of global leadership, understanding the concept of cross-cultural ethics becomes a pivotal. It is another area we need to look at cross-cultural ethics, because you might have a varied ethics. What we do in Ghana and you think is not an offense, when you do it to different person, it might be offense. So cross-cultural leadership is a very serious area that we need. If you are a cross-cultural leader, you need to be aware of. You need to handle it with a very open mind and be prepared to learn a lot. That is why we say cross-cultural leadership is a journey and it's not a destination, because it's not a destination that you can't arrive within some hours. It's a journey, and you are always moving and learning and adapting. Always moving, learning, and adapting. It is core. Cross-cultural ethics refers to examination and application of ethical standards across different cultures, different culture contexts. I'm repeating it. It is core. Cross-cultural ethics refers to examination and application of ethical standards across different culture contexts. So there should be a standard you need to adhere to. There should be a standard you need to adhere to. There must be a cross-cultural standard that you need to adhere to. It involves recognizing and respecting the diverse ethical values. So in cross-cultural leadership, you need to at least recognize, respecting the diverse ethical values, ethical norms, values, and practice present in various cultures, and integrate these prospects into leadership practice. You need to, one, it involves recognizing and respecting the diverse ethical norms, values, and practices presented in various cultures, and integrate these prospects into leadership practice. How these ethical norms, values, and practices, you present them, bring them together to navigate a good leadership practice. It is also a skill you need to build as a cross-cultural leader. Case study, cross-cultural ethical dilemma. Cross-cultural ethical dilemma. One noted example of cross-cultural ethical dilemma involving a multinational company expanding its operation into a country where gift giving in business is a custom. Gift giving is a custom. In this new market, presenting a lavish gift to potential clients and government officials was an in-game part of conducting business. However, the corporation ethical guidelines, in line with global ethical practice, prohibit any form of gift giving that could be construed as a bribe. So looking at this case study, an example of a cross-cultural ethical dilemma involving a multinational company expanding its operation in a country where gift giving is a business, in business is a custom. Giving somebody a gift is a custom. In this new market that the company finds himself, presenting lavish gifts to potential clients and government officials was an ingrained part of conducting business. However, the company ethical guidelines, in line with global ethical practice, prohibits any form of gift giving that could construed as bribe. Like in Ghana, gift giving is not part of our custom. And therefore, when you come here and you are giving customers and government officials very big, lavish gifts will be classified as bribing. You are bribing them, which is also not in line with the global ethical practices, prohibited the form of gifts giving. So when you are in a country like this, as a cross-cultural leader, you have to be very careful. You need to be able to differentiate between gift giving and bribery. Embracing cross-cultural leadership in a way that is increasingly connected, embracing cross-ethical leadership is not just a choice, but an imperative for emerging leaders seeking to make a global impact. Seeking to make a global impact. This block has explored the intricacies of cross-cultural ethical practice and highlighting the challenges leaders face in navigating cultural diversity in leadership. By understanding these challenges and implementing actionable strategies, leaders can effectively foster an inclusive environment that respect diverse ethical norms and enhance global ethic practice. That invite global ethic practice. Now, we are still on ethic and moral considerations. Challenges of cross-cultural ethic practice. As emerging leaders striving to implement ethic practice across cultural boundaries, they often encounter several common challenges. These issues, quite significant, are navigable with right strategies and understanding. One of the most challenges in reconciling different ethic standards and moral values between cultures. What may be deemed ethical or accepted in one culture context might be considerable inappropriate or even offensive in another. So we need to, as I already said, what will be what inappropriate will even be offensive in another sense. Some it may not. So it's something that we have to know about cross-cultural ethical practices. For example, approach to business transparency can vary dramatically in some cultures. Transparency is a fundamental principle, whereas in another, a more grounded approach is the norm. These discrepancies can lead to dilemma where a decision that aligns with one ethical belief might clash with a local expectation, causing frictions and misunderstanding. Leaders must employ a balanced approach, seeking to understand and respect local norms while maintaining their ethical integrity. Best practice for cross-cultural ethics. Best practice for cross-cultural ethics. Best practice for cross-cultural ethics. To effectively navigate the complex of cross-cultural ethics, leaders must employ strategies that bridge cultural differences while upholding ethics standards. To effectively navigate a complexity of cross-cultural ethics, leaders must employ strategy that bridge cross-cultural differences while upholding ethics standards. One effective strategy is developing cultural sensitivities through extensive international ethic coaching. We need to do international ethic coaching. One effective strategy is developing culture sensitive through extensive international ethic coaching. And when we do that, it will help us breaching those ethic gaps. This training empowers leaders to understand and respect diverse culture, norms, and values, allowing them to make informed ethic decisions. For instance, a leader who has undergone his training will be more adaptive at recognizing when traditional business practice might conflict with local custom, enabling them to navigate this situation with grace and integrity. For instance, a leader who has undergone this training, that's training of coaching on ethical consideration, will have more adapts at recognizing when a traditional business practice might conflict with local custom, enabling them to navigate this situation with grace and integrity. Thank you very much. And that is the end of my presentation on cross-cultural leadership in international organization. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so that is the end of my presentation on cross-cultural leadership. So now I will welcome questions. I will welcome if you have any question on cross-cultural leadership. Before we change to the risk aspect of cross-cultural leadership.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, you are talking about ensuring equity in terms of treatment for people from different backgrounds.
Yes, sir, Professor.
So how do we in reality, because sometimes you're having people from Nigeria, having people from Cote d'Ivoire, people from Ghana, and you are holding the program, for instance, in Ghana. We usually tend to take our own local people for granted and provide, as Ghanaians, provide more social services to those from outside. Yeah. And sometimes most of the people locally are not actually comfortable with the treatment we give to them just because we want to please those from the other countries. And by and large, if it continues, it becomes a problem. I remember KNUST started this internationalization, so students from Nigeria came. We had to give them good accommodation and all those things. Eventually, they tend to be like a threat to the system because it's like they have been over-pampered. So how do we ensure equity in terms of treatment that we offer to people of different backgrounds, people with different levels, so that nobody feels peeves and then gives the best for the organization and for the system to grow?
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Yeah, Prof, I think we as cross-cultural leaders, we have to do our things intentionally, you see, and with open-minded, because of the role we are playing as cross-cultural leaders. When we are intentional about all people that we are dealing with, we shall give them importance. You don't see them as your own people and see them differently. A case I'm having a gentleman, a PhD student I'm supervising now, and he's very close to me. He brought a problem statement, and I said he should correct something on the problem statement. And it's like he has submitted the same thing. So I want to meet him this afternoon and tell him that because I'm not the final reviewer, even though he's more acquaintance with me, I cannot supervise him on friendly basis, because at the end, the final examiner, if I joke with him, my integrity will go down, and the final examiner who will examine him will not pass him for the academic review, academic board review. He will not pass him. So I have it in mind to tell him this matter. We cannot do it on a friendly basis. He has to be very serious. So we're dealing with our local people. We shouldn't undervalue them. We have to give them equal. If we want the progress, we have to give them equal treatment. We shouldn't be respecting the outsiders alone because we think they pay in dollars. When it comes to institution, they pay in dollars. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. We have to bring them together. Even if we don't, inequity is an area frowned by corporate governance. If you're a leader, corporate governance frowns on treat everybody equal, be it your local people, be it foreigners, and that is what motivates. So we have to be intentional on it, Prof.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know if I've answered you, Prof.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello. I'll add a little bit. I'll add a little bit to
Okay, please.
what Prof.
Please.
Yes. So my Professor Wachi, what also solves such a challenge, address the challenge, is that if we have policies written policies, written down policies helps all of us how to treat everyone. If you don't have, you'll be picking and choosing. So have a well-documented policy that this is how we treat everyone. When you are in Ghana from outside, this is what we give you. When you are in Ghana and you also move outside, and treating everybody equitable means that Ghanaians will also move to other jurisdictions for training. Back in KPMG, Ghanaians will go to Nigeria will come to Ghana. Ghanaians will go to Zambia, KPMG Zambia, they also come to Ghana. So we move across the continent. So for me, that's what it means. We have to treat everyone equitable, but the policy should be well documented so that nobody feels hurt. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof. The two profs.
Okay. Hello. We are still welcoming questions before we move to the second presenter. Madam Rebecca is the second presenter. And
we have to have a short break before then, please.
We'll have a short break, and he's talking on the risks. He's he's an expert in risks because he has worked with KPMG for so many years, and ended his working life in SNIT as the Auditor General of SNIT. He is now on retirement, and he's the one I'm working with. He's the one I'm working with when it comes to risk. So we want more questions. We are prepared. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hi.
Yes, please. We want more questions. It's by asking questions that we also understand ourselves more. So my people from Deeper Mission, I'm now attached to your university. So there will be a lot of programs that is face-to-face when it comes to this. Reverend Edu said knows what I'm talking. So now I'll be organizing a lot of face-to-face programs for you. I'm now attached to your university. June, we'll be organizing my first, Madam Rebecca will be helping me. We'll be commissioning our first face-to-face program there. I will even talk to Reverend Dr. The overseer, the national overseer, to come and commission, we'll arrange, and he will come and do the opening for us in June. There will be a strong face-to-face. I'm here to come out of the program. I'm going to lead your short programs in the school. So I'm now attached to you. So I'll welcome all of you on that program too. Hello, Reverend Lucia, you want to talk?
No, you couldn't mention the name of the ENDO, so I wanted to remind you.
Okay, please remind me. It's very important.
Reverend Dr. Tumsia.
Reverend Dr.
Tumsia.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm surprised I forgot.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Hello. So we want more question. Madam British is waiting to enter. Okay, sorry. Hello, we are welcoming a lot of questions. Then we move to the hello. And our registration too, nobody has paid. The Momo, we are displacing the Momo too. So that please, once you are in attendance, you pay for us. You'll be entitled to certificate. The video we are recording, you will have a copy of the video. And if possible, we'll give you the slides to benefit you. So you are entitled to a video copy, certificate, a video, and the slides. We'll send all to you because we've done it for you. So please, you can start sending your memos. Those who are in attendance, please. You can send your memos to this Momo line for us.
Please display the Momo line.
The Momo line, Emmanuel Teite.
I said, can you display it? Or
yeah, I've done it. Are you seeing it?
no, we can't see it.
You can see it?
Yes.
I think it's in the chat box. Huh?
It's not there. The Momo line is, so I'm mentioning it, 054 870 4485. Emmanuel Teite. 054 870 4485. Just support us with 400. And we shall organize both. We want to organize, come out with a lot of programs, both at Alpha University. Now I'm going to handle, and I want to do more programs there to raise Alpha University. I want to do more programs there, a lot of programs. And we shall also, Madam Rebecca too, will be organizing a lot of programs also. So we welcome all of you. Our Momo line is 054 870 4485. Emmanuel Teite. Then we move on to the next session, there will be another presentation. Today we want to learn a lot. Dr. Rebecca Lomo will be, as a risks expert, will be leading us on the risks associated with cross-culture leadership. He's having a very broad experience when it comes to risks. Oh, sorry. Yes. You can't share it there. Oh, then it means let me download and share it there. I'll be controlling it for you here.
Hello, I forwarded it to you, Prof. I forwarded it in WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp. Okay, so let me pick it just now. I'll pick it just now. Oh. I'm coming. I'll present. I'm taking it.
Okay. Prof, have you been able to download it?
Yeah, yes, I'm downloading it. I'll put it there just now. Don't worry. They are resting. We shall change it over soon. I hope what you send is the same thing. Nothing changed. What you sent to me?
Oh, this one has no. There should be some background.
Okay, then let me go to WhatsApp.
Looking at a different thing, maybe. This one is coming from Nanaya. I just forwarded it.
From Nanaya.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
You haven't opened it.
Yeah, I haven't opened it. I'll open it just now. I want to pick it. Don't worry. Like I was downloading what you sent to me, probably.
No. I want them to enjoy some pictorial things. So I asked Nana to put some pictures on one of my guys.
Okay.
To put some nice pictures on it so it won't be boring.
Okay. I'm coming. Where I'm loading the distance is a bit slow, so
But if when the time is up, I can start presenting from here.
oh, don't worry, I'll put it there just now. I'm just opening this WhatsApp web so that I pick you from there. Only the machine I'm opening is a bit slow. I'm not opening on the laptop, so that
You're
is
opening on your phone.
on my desktop. I have a desktop PC, which is there are a lot of things on it. So
It's been long since I heard of desktop.
pardon me.
It's been long since I heard of desktop.
You've never used it. You know, it's the laptop that we are using for the presentation. So I'm opening the desktop. You know, I like using a desktop. It's faster for me than a laptop.
I see. You don't want to be a Latter-day Saint church member.
Oh, but you can start communication with them. It's opening. If you have anything, you can start sharing. It will finish opening soon, don't worry.
Honorable members, I believe you are on call because I can see 7 here.
Yeah.
Auntie British says, Prof. Nako Kwai.
And most are Reverend. They are Reverend, so you can address them Reverend.
Oh, okay.
Most are Reverend.
Okay, so Reverend B. British Bamfo, hi to you. Can they speak? Oh, they are all muted. I can see
They are muted. They are muted. They are muted.
So let me know if they are around.
They are all around. They are all around.
They are all around.
Yeah,
let me hear at least one voice to make me comfortable that I'm speaking to people. Can you unmute them so that I can speak? Hello, Prof.
Yeah,
Yes,
they are from
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Nice hearing from you. Can I hear from Auntie B, Reverend B?
Madam British Bamfo.
Okay. I've heard from Joseph is here.
Yeah.
Reverend B, she's still muted anyway.
Yeah, he's not muted. He's not muted.
She's still muted. If you can unmute her.
Is it if I can? No,
unmute her.
These are proud instructions I've given, so I cannot unmute.
Oh, you cannot unmute her.
Unless.
Then how can they ask their questions? I'm going to ask them a question. That's why I want you to unmute them.
And so, hello. Please, we want everybody to unmute. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we want everybody to unmute for a while.
Yes, for some 5 minutes.
We have some discussions. Unmute your. Prof has on mute, and Reverend Joseph has on mute.
So I'm left with SET, set.
And
then now Kokwe.
yeah.
And then B.
Yeah.
Are they on call?
I don't know. You can ask. You can start asking your question.
Okay.
You can start asking your question.
Now Kokwe, if you're on call, can you unmute so that I have an exchange with you?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you a reverend or doctor?
I'm
Auntie B.
Beatrice. I had a meeting this morning, so I couldn't join the
Oh,
first
okay.
session.
Yes, I can see that
I
you've
just
taken somebody's place. Somebody had joined. Somebody has dropped, and then somebody was there, but I think he dropped, and then I saw your name. So welcome, Auntie B. Then I want to ask you the question that I intend asking. You can unmute yourself. Prof, you can unmute it. Then who is Seth? Who is Seth? Seth, are you around? If you can unmute. Prof, if you can unmute Seth. The name is SET.
I
Yeah,
can't
James
mute
is
from
back.
here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Or maybe the way they have to unmute themselves. Okay.
Now, Kokwe, can you unmute?
I can do that. I can do that.
Now, Kokwe, can you unmute?
Unmute.
James. Is it Reverend James or Dr. James?
It's Reverend James.
Reverend James, can you unmute, please?
Reverend James came early in the morning and he has.
He's come back. He's come back.
Yeah.
He's come back.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Okay. Reverend James, I'm unmuting. Okay. Is that with? Hello?
I'm sorry, I was driving, so I actually put it in my car.
Okay, all right. Okay, Reverend. Now, Kokwe, I'm left with Now Kokwe and Seth. Now, Kokwe, are you on call? Now, Kokwe.
And please, I didn't also get the number for us to send the registration fee.
The number is 0. The number is
Prof,
0.
kindly type it. Prof, kindly type it in the chat box for them. I beg you.
I'm coming.
And please, how much is it?
054.
Prof, kindly type it in the chat box because he's driving.
He's driving.
Yes, I'm actually driving.
Where is the chat? I'm coming. Madam,
and please, how much is the amount?
400.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
400.
So if I get the number on the chat box, fine.
Okay.
Seth, thank you for muting. Then now Kokwe is left with now Kokwe.
This chat box, so I'm going to type it. The thing is
now Kokwe, are you on call? How can we know that they're on call? So in future, I'll show you how we do it to ensure that everybody is on call.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, Kokwe, thanks for responding because I wanted to be sure that I'm actually. Yes, now, Kokwe. Now, Kokwe, thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I wanted to be sure that I'm really dealing with human beings like myself and not just people who just. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask some questions around. I'm going to ask some. Hey, Prof, I'm still waiting for my slides. So
otherwise, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay.
Hello.
So.
Hello. Yeah. I'm in Zoom here. I'll talk to you later.
Prof, it looks like we have a feedback from your end. So
You have a feedback.
yes, the person you are dealing with. So
Yeah, okay, sorry.
my honorable audience, webinar attendees, there's a quote I have here: true leadership transcends borders, weaving understanding, trust, and respect into fabric of diverse cultures, creating harmony through shared vision and mutual growth. This one you've heard quite a lot. So I'm going to go around and then ask each and every one of you for just one risk area, because what we're going to discuss, Prof has gone through all of them. The risk we're going to discuss. In his presentation, he mentioned almost all of them. So you give me just one risk that you think applies in this case when you are managing, you're a leader for a cross-cultural organization. What are some of the risks? You give me just one. Just one.
Okay, language.
Hello.
If you are not able to communicate or there's no understanding between the people you are dealing with, like for instance, if you're a Ghanaian, you are dealing with somebody from Benin and you don't really know how to speak French, there's a risk factor there that you might say A and the person might think is B.
Excellent. Shall we clap for him? Excellent. There's a risk of communication. Great. Can I have another one? Joseph, you came in. Joseph.
Yeah, new people are joining. New people are joining.
We have financial risk. Financial risk.
Okay,
The
explain.
possibility of losing money or not achieving expected returns on investment.
Yeah,
When you're in
yeah,
the business.
very good.
Okay, that's excellent.
Very good point.
Selling products that may not be subscribed to in that jurisdiction, in that culture. Excellent. It didn't come up in the presentation, but another side of it came up in the presentation. But I like your side of it. Thank you very much. Can I listen to Na Kokwe, who is bears my cousin's name? Na Kokwe. Na Kokwe, you are muted. Na Kokwe, you are muted. Okay, let me listen to James then. Okay, now go.
It looks like section.
Hello, there are breaks in your
Yes.
line. We are just giving, out of the presentation you had, I said it covers what you came in to do this afternoon and what you had as risk. Just give me one as risk area.
What I had as what?
What you have from Prof.
My line is a bit
The
bad.
Give me just risk, one risk factor.
Okay.
One risk factor from what you heard from Prof. Because what we are going to cover this afternoon, he's covered it in this presentation, but we want to pick them one by one as risk. So can you give me just one risk area?
Okay, so let me give you what I got from the beginning. Like I said, my line is a bit bad. But I think we were talking about cross-cultural leadership, the importance of having diverse people. Can I type that?
Your line is really, really bad. Is it mine or yours?
It will be her. Hers.
Okay. So can we have James? Oh, okay, we have Samuel joining. Samuel, you were not here in the morning, so I don't think it's fair to ask you the question.
Yes, please. I just joined.
Yes, so it's not fair to ask you this question. James, can you answer? You You came quite early. James.
Reverend James. They are all reverends.
Reverend James.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Reverend James, can you give us just one risk factor from the presentation you heard this morning?
Okay, so I think we're also talking about conflict resolution. If they are not able
Excellent.
to resolve conflicts,
Excellent.
that was serious threat to your administration or mine.
Excellent. 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 Who else hasn't spoken? Who else hasn't spoken? It's not Kokwe, but her line is bad. Okay. B, have you spoken? Beatrice. Reverend Beatrice.
Madam, I said I just joined. So I
Yeah,
couldn't get.
Oh, okay. You also
She
joined this
just
afternoon. Okay.
joined, yes.
Okay, all right. So the two of you, you are spared. You are spared. Joseph is saying, where's Prof? Prof is gone.
No, nobody is gone yet.
No, I can't see Prof. Prof Bachi. I can't see him on call. I can't see Prof Bachi on call. Prof, are you around?
Yeah. Myself.
Not you, Professor Bachi.
Professor Boachi. For that, I'll put your this on this.
You can do it. Otherwise.
Yeah, oh no, I'm okay. I'm copying it onto the laptop. I'm almost done.
Otherwise, I was going to.
I'm almost done.
Right. Okay. Prof.
It's now there.
Yes. No, he's not here. Dr. David Babasempa has joined.
Dr. David has just joined. Dr. David has just joined.
But I can't see Prof. Prof watching.
Yeah, Prof. So you can add. You can ask somebody.
Let me call him and find out whether he's having any challenge.
Okay, please.
Yeah. Madam, since I'm done with you, is your slides?
Yes.
Can you see your slides?
Yes, I can. I can.
Should I do it or it's okay? Is this way okay for you? Or I should open it a bit?
Yes, open it a bit so they will see it. If you put it in a presentation mode.
Are you okay now?
No, I think the previous one is better.
The previous one is
Give me the previous one.
Okay.
The previous one.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So let's make it one. Okay, so I'll be controlling it for you.
Okay.
So the Momo number is in the chat box. So they can please use it for us. It's also important.
I can't see it here.
I contacted Prof. Boachi. He said the network is bad of where he is.
The network is bad. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So the Momo number is now in the chat box, so you can pick it there.
I cannot see it yet. I cannot see the. No, I cannot see the Momo number.
Oh, is that so? It's in the chat box.
It's not there.
It's in the chat box now.
But somebody has also said it's not here.
Was it?
Somebody has also said it's not here. So
It's not in the chat box. Madam, can you put it in the chat box in your praise for me?
But I'll prefer that I control the slides.
If you cannot control it,
I don't know why you can't give.
I'll control for you. If you want me to say, just say yes, and I will do that. Okay? Because initial setting.
I don't like people control my slide, but okay. It's okay.
But let's manage.
I don't know why you can't give me the co-host.
Yeah, it is the initial setting. So if anything, I have to go back to the initial setting.
Oh.
Initial setting, I was even trying to give you a co-host, and it was not permitting me. I tried and tried and tried. Like I give you a co-host, you could have controlled it yourself.
So
you let's go.
Okay.
You just say next, and I'll do it for you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I tried to quote from a gentleman. I asked him to give me a quote. The gentleman is AI, and he gave me the quote that I share with you. But there's a popular quote. There's a popular quote which we all say it all the time, and Prof even quoted that popular quote, that leadership transcends beyond borders. So there's a need to be respect for everyone. But thus my AI code tells me true leadership transcends beyond borders, weaving understanding, trust, and respect into the fabric of diverse cultures, creating harmony through shared vision and mutual growth. During a presentation, you mentioned about growth, those who really work with a positive aspect of cross-culture leadership, those who have sound policies and those who apply, sound policies, their profit increase. Prof, did you say 75%? The research said.
Yeah, 75. Yes, 75.
75%. So when you apply cross-culture, principles, the right principles, respect for each one, everyone. I put it in one word, respect for everyone. Then you are on your way to make the profit that you want. And I'm happy that some of you have come out with some of the risks that Prof mentioned. Let's look at, Prof, if you can go back to my slides. Can you go back to my slides? And I want to say that, we want to cover, the next one, please. I don't like this.
Yeah. Should I go again?
The next one, yes. It's going to waste my time. So the learning outcomes, you see them, but in this session, the agenda, we want to cover, as you heard from Prof, communication barriers, leadership style, adaptation, then decision making, as one of you said, conflict management, one of you said it, motivational differences, Prof covered it, but nobody mentioned. Then building trust, which he spent so much on. He spent some time on building trust. Then he also spent some time on ethical standard variation in in various cultures. So what we're going to discuss, if people have already heard from Prof, and then these are the risk areas that we want to look at. If you think there are some other risk areas that you want us to look at, maybe there is a risk of legal and regulatory framework in some cultures. There could be other risks, as our friends said, introducing products into a culture, a different culture. If you're not careful, adverts alone can shoot down the products. So there's that risk too. And then we will cover some other risks. But these are, risks that will always pop up when we are managing or you are leading in a cross-culture, environment. So let's move to the next one. So these are the learning outcomes. I hope you people gain deeper understanding of cultural differences and impact.
Madam, you just
yes.
read them, hammer on it.
Okay.
Read them for the hearing.
Okay, for their hearing. Okay. Yeah. So members, I hope that you appreciate a deeper understanding of cross-cultural differences and their impact on leadership and organization dynamics. We also learn to overcome how to overcome language barriers and non-verbal cues effectively in diverse cultural organization. The next one. You also learn how to acquire knowledge. You acquire knowledge how to manage and resolve conflicts in culturally, sensitive ways, because some ways are very sensitive. You also understand how to adjust your leadership approaches to align with, cultural expectation of global teams. When you are in Japan, you act differently. When you come to Ghana, differently. When you are in US, you have to be able to adapt as a leader. So for me, this program is really a good program because people carry their cultures to other countries. And the process, they look down on them. So sometimes you hear that people have been asked to leave their country, or employees are demonstrating against a particular leader. When you go in depth, you realize that it's all about risk, not managing the risk in cross-culture environment, leadership. So as a leader, you need to learn how to manage the risk. And Prof has hid on most of the risk. We are picking them one by one and treat them. At this point, I want the slides will come to you, so you appreciate some of these things. I don't want to repeat myself several times. So it will also enhance your ability to comprehend and adapt to and leverage on cultural differences for your organizational success. So if you are leading an organization in the different culture, I think this program is excellent. You learn how to establish trust and credibility in the culturally diverse teams, because you'll be working with them, especially if you're a lecturer or you're a professor like Professor Taiti or Professor Boachi, and you have to supervise students. I nearly had a problem, a challenge with my dean, because when I was reading my doctorate, I sent a reminder to my supervisor in capital letters, and thinking that it's nothing, because I was in a hurry and the keyboard was showing capital letters, and I thought, I could send the reminder. But when they got, I think when he got to the supervisor, I copied the reminder. There's a dean, as I sent the reminder to my supervisor. I copied the dean. And then the dean, wrote back to me and asked me, do I understand what I did by typing capital letters? So we need to understand these things as we work across cultures. We need to appreciate that, look, people see things differently. Don't sit in your home and think that your culture is the same across the globe. It's not the same across the globe. So that's all we are about today. Prof, let's move forward. So communication barriers. Let's look at communication barriers. This thing is so small, I can't read.
It's small.
If you can extend it a bit for me.
Okay, so let me. Can you read now? Language difference?
Yes, language differences. So these are the contributors. Language differences, non-verbal communication. That's your, I teach communication in one of my school, one of the schools I help. And it's been said, Peter Drucker, he did that research. He said communication, body language communicates about 75%. Other researchers have said 90%, but he says 75% of what we want to say. And we don't say it verbally. So body language is so important. If you are leading in the cross-culture environment, it's something that you need to really, really study. How people, respond or react to what you say or what you do. And the body non-verbal comes in facial expressions, gestures, and body language. The gestures, the Prof mentioned, how we use our left hand. People use their left hand in China. But in Ghana, I've always corrected children that, look, our culture is right hand. So don't receive the gift with left hand. Little children, I've always corrected them. I'm old-fashioned. So I want to remind the little ones that, look, this is our culture. So when they are using their hand their left to collect something from someone, an older person, I said, no, use your right hand, because our culture, we use our right hand, we don't use our left hand. And the left hand means you dislike what's being given to you, or you disrespect the one giving the thing to you. So use your right hand. So these are non-verbal communication that you have to learn as a leader. Then cultural nuances, your values, but what you consider a value here is so different in other jurisdictions. So you need to understand the values, and then divergent expectations and perceptions. All these things you need to learn. And then the language differences that we mentioned. If I remember when I was going to Benin for a conference, we were having Africa, the whole of Africa continent were having a conference, and I was going to Benin. And because my French wasn't strong, I had to buy a dictionary. I bought a dictionary and the French that had been translated into English. So with my team, wherever we went and wanted to buy something, I had to pull.
I won't be like so that the office can put. Coming to the start the money.
Is a person with us?
Yes, so the person has to mute his this thing. He has to mute himself.
Can we go on?
Yeah, we can go on now. We can go on.
Okay, so language differences, can result, as we said, in misunderstanding, misinterpretation, or if you give a directive and the person doesn't understand, he will also do it anyhow. He will also respond anyhow or implement the policy anyhow. So it's really important that we consider the varying levels of language proficiency and then address it, so we don't end up creating confusion or less productive environments. And Prof, let's move on. So another communication, for instance, I use the gesture. When I was growing, these days Ghanaians accept the tongue up, but in my culture, as a Ghana culture, when you use your thumb up, it's like you are insulting the person. But these days, I can see that Ghanaians are really accepting it. People do thumb up, and it's accepted. But I believe that when you go to you visit my grandma and you say thumb up, my grandma will be offended because you use your tongue like you are encouraging her or you are motivating her. She'll be offended because that's not their language when they were growing up. But these days we've accepted everything America in our cultures. So let's be aware of the cultural differences, the gestures and all that. And Prof. Hamid, the left hand in China, and then and also US, you can use your left hand. But in Ghana here, I just shared with you that I've been correcting the children that look, our culture is right hand. So go by our culture. When we are in another culture, fine. Especially when they come on visit from US, you see them doing everything with their left hand. But I try to correct them. So that's for us. It's a communication barriers must be addressed. Prof, the next one. This thing is not moving as I want at all. So all that four mentioned, I said, can lead to ineffective communication. And this, as a leader, it highlights the factors that you, the leader, you need to develop cultural competence to navigate and mitigate the communication, gap. Make sure that there are things that you can do. Prof, the next one, please, because I've already had on this. Prof, if you have been, okay. So effective communication, that's understanding the cultural nuances, is crucial for effective communication and fostering a cohesive work environment. If you don't have it, it can't work. Let's call for learning. I think Prof mentioned it. You need to appreciate certain things, at least if you want to carry a dictionary like I did, you can carry a dictionary, but I wasn't leading. I was just buying. You must learn a few things as a leader in a different culture. There are a few things that you have to learn. Ensure that you befriend your workers or your colleagues and learn a few things. You can always learn a few things so that you have a cohesive working environment. Otherwise, you'll be, communication is everything. That's what I tell people. If you don't communicate well, you won't get things done well. Things there will be misunderstanding, misinterpretation, misconduct, and all that. So it's so important. That's why it comes on the list as the first risk that we have to address as leaders when we are in cross-cultural environments. Prof, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. So,
should I go on? Or?
Yes. Please. Okay. So the next one I want us to look at. Prof, should they ask questions as I present, or I should finish before they ask the questions?
Finish, then we call for the questions.
Okay. All right.
Finish, then we call for the questions.
Okay. So leadership style. And here, I would say that some cultures, especially the Asian cultures, their system is hierarchical. Let me put it hierarchical. So the hierarchical is top down, unlike Western and Africans must also learn the Western way because of education. Because our education is based on Western system. So these days we try to, be inclusive when we are making a decision. We try to make it participative instead of authoritative. So we should understand as leaders that some cultures are very authoritative in their decision making. We'll move to decision making. But as a leader, when you are in the authoritative culture, you must know that working with your team is top down. It's not like these days, Japan and multinational companies are trying to, bring like Singapore, South Korea, when you visit, their system is their environment is changing to Western environment. It's becoming more participative instead of authoritative. So highlighting the adaptability in leadership styles is very, very important to you, the leader, when we are in such cultures. Just watch how they, or you can ask. I will always Google when I'm moving to another African country. Lucky our time, Google was there. Now we have AI, which maybe simplifies things than even Google. Dr. Google, I call it Dr. Google. AI simplifies things. So I'll Google and find out how the people, how they receive people. In French West Africa, people are a bit reserved. So if you're a leader and you are working in such a culture, you must appreciate that that's how they behave. They are not being, nasty, or they are not rejecting you, but that's their way of, doing things in Francophone West Africa. I don't know about the East Africans and all that, but in Francophone West Africa, that's what I've noted with our fellow Africans. They are a bit reserved, unlike the Anglophone. Now, you meet a Ghanaian, you meet Nigerian, Liberian, Sierra Leone, we always want to converse, we always want to mingle. But the French side, when you mingle with them, they're always reserved, they don't want to come. It's only a few of them, especially those around the borders of Ghana. They will want to come out and then converse freely with you or do things with you. So these are things that you as a leader, you need to, keep in mind and manage the people that you are leading. Can we move? Prof, okay. So understanding the differences is so vital in aiming to foster inclusive and effective work environment. You need to adapt your style of leadership to meet expectations. If you don't adapt, we'll be going into decision making. It becomes a headache. You need to adapt. What you are going there with may be different from what the people know. So let's learn to adapt as leaders as we move to other cultures. Prof, can we move on? So like I said, it affects your leadership skill or style, affects your decision making. And because of that, you need to know the people you are working with, you are interacting with. If the people prefer hierarchical or authoritative, you are into that culture. So to bring them on board, it should be a gradual thing. You may be coming from a collaborative system, like my nephew came and we said something. She said, no, this is authoritative. Because he grew up in the US, he didn't understand some of the things that the family had said. So I brought him home and I had to school him that sometimes it does happen in family situation. We are now adapting to Western culture. So you should give the old folks some space to also come to our level. And we need to do that so we don't create a friction in decision making. Prof, the next one. Prof, okay. So for authoritative decision, I noted hierarchical. That I noted that it's top down, as I said. Conversely, the participative leadership is which is prevalent in the Western areas, especially in Norway and Sweden. It forces this participative forces, decision making inclusively. But when you are in a place like Japan and all that, they won't see it as, they will see it as you are being lousy. Why are you asking them to take part in the decision making? That's your job. You should do it as a leader. But when you come to Ghana or US and all that, when you do that, they'll see you as being authoritative. And if you are not careful, they will run away from you from the office. So let's learn about these things. And then when we have to make a decision, we know that, look, I have to make a decision and bring them on board to agree or encourage them to be participative in the decision making, to be inclusive in the decision making. Let's know where we are, then it makes it easier. Shall we move on? And next slide.
I should go on next one.
Yes. All I'm saying that we need to, navigate these things. So I have this to say that in navigating and adapting to the differences, your communication style, because in the Asian, as I said, because it's top down, direct and formality may not work over there. You need to acceptance of hierarchical versus egalitarian, that's a participative. I've explained it, and you need to bring the people on board if you want to use the participative decision making or style of leadership and decision making. You need to gradually bring the people on board. If you are from the West or you are from Ghana and you are in a hierarchical environment, your decision making should also be preferences for individual or group consensus. The group consensus is inclusivity. All these you can learn it, and it will enhance the team cohesion and performance. You need to learn. Shall we move on, please? Prof.
Is there?
Okay, I've seen it. So I also brought in cultural misalignment. If you may struggle to align as a leader, you may struggle to align your organization goals with diverse cultural values and expectations. And this may lead to resistance because for some culture, they believe, as I said, in a joint thing or group thing. Others also believe in individual achievements. So for those who believe in individual achievement, when you are there, it's a matter of navigating and making sure that you have everybody on board. But if you take what you have and you want to plant it in the other culture, that's what brings the problem. So know the organization goals and how to ask everyone to align, even as those of us who are using the Western system. I must share with you on this call that in my former organization, when we asked people to align their goals with the company's goals, we had to take time. For almost 3 years, we were teaching people how to align by using performance management system to align their individual goals with the organization, let alone a whole culture. You can imagine it. So these are things that we need to learn, our cultural values and expectations. When we move to another culture, let's see how we can engage them instead of resistance and disengagement. If you don't take care, they will resist you. They'll think you are doing the wrong thing. In Japan, for instance, when you are speaking to people, they are quiet. The Americans will want you to respond as they ask you, but they, won't do that. And if you are not careful, you think that, because the man is silent, he's just lobbying me or he's not being respectful. But that's the culture. So we need to learn all these as leaders when we are moving to another culture or when we move into another culture. Even in Africa here, as Prof indicated, it happens. You are moving to Togo or you are moving to Ivory Coast. They have different, you are moving to Burkina Faso. They have different cultures. We may be, living together, but since these people, Europeans divided us, our cultures have become different. Even in our own tribes, in Ghana here, we do things differently sometimes. And Prof mentioned it, that if you are moving from the south to the north, know that you are going to a different culture. The north, they are very masculine. It's the men who have authority. So if you're a lady and you're a leader and you are going to the north, Even in the South here, I try to tolerate them, accommodate them. When they are doing things, the Northerners, I'm working with them, and they are doing things, and I know that their system is masculine, it's authoritative. Not authoritative, but it's a masculine system. You know, I try to bring them on board respectfully. I try to bring my people on board respectfully. Respect them because that's their culture. So you respect them. And gradually you see that they also start understanding your culture. So we must know when we are in a different culture, and then we must not misalign, you know, our goals, organization goals with those cultural values and expectations. Prof, I nearly, you know, changed the slide here, but I could see that I can't change it. So move. Okay, so let's move on to conflict management as one of the risk areas that we mentioned. So varied approaches to conflict resolution across culture can complicate and escalate workplace disputes, requiring culturally sensitive strategies. So the issue is that how we resolve conflict in our own culture may be different from how conflicts are resolved in other cultures, and that's what we need to learn. If you are not careful in trying to, resolve conflicts, you rather be seen as creating problems, siding with some. I think Prof mentioned it, siding with one employee or one leader in that culture. So to resolve conflicts, it comes to learning. Prof, let's move forward. The approach should be learning and understanding the culture over there. Okay, this one I can't read it. So leaders must, leaders must recognize what is considered respectful and appropriate behavior in various cultures. For instance, I've mentioned those direct confrontation, and being silent over issues. When you are silent over issues in Japan, that's their culture. You are respectful. But you can't be silent when you are being asked questions and then your head is down and all that in US. It will seem as disrespectful. So when you want to manage conflict between people, maybe an American and Japanese, these are things that you need to watch. You watch their body language, you watch how they respond to things, and you don't think that because they are not responding, the other person is not responding, he's guilty. No. You need to watch, the culture, prevailing in that sector or in that environment as you try to resolve a conflict. Otherwise, you'll be accused of taking sides. Prof, can we move on? So
Right,
how can we effectively resolve cultures, conflict in cultures? How can we do that? Can we move on? Prof, can we move on? Yes.
Yes.
So, thank you. So we need an approach which will be mediatory. And when I say mediatory, as I'm saying that you should mediate. You should mediate. You should play a mediatory role as a neutral person. And that is how you can facilitate the effective communication and foster mutual respect among your team members. Be seen as in the middle. The mediator should be seen as being neutral, as being fair. And if you don't understand the culture environment, you'll be seen as taking sides. I think Prof hammered on this. So my reverend ministers, please, these are things that we need to take note. If you are moving to Ivory Coast, please know the cultures over there. If you have to, solve a problem, be a mediator instead of being seen as someone taking sides. And you can do this through effective communication. Okay, so we're moving to another risk area, motivational differences. Because we have different cultural backgrounds, Excuse me, 1 second. We can work on the other side because the noise is coming in. Just give us 1 hour. Thank you. Sorry, there was some feedback. I don't know if you people heard it, so I had to go and set it right. Thank you. Right. So we have motivational differences. What motivates a Ghanaian may be different from what motivates a Japanese or an American. Is it true or false?
It's true.
I wanted my honorable ministers to, one of them should respond.
Okay.
Is it true or false?
True.
Okay, thank you. So what one employee will find engaging in a particular engaging and rewarding, thereby impacting productivity, may be different from another person in a different culture. So these are things that we need to navigate as a leader. And as I said, you cannot just sit there and navigate. You must learn. You must be part. I think Prof also said it. You must be part of the people. Be part of them. I marvel how the Bible has been translated into several languages. Even in Ghana here, the people who work on the translation, they go and stay with the people, and die and live with the people, sleep with them, learn their culture in the translation. Otherwise, you cannot translate Hebrew to, Ghan language. You cannot translate Hebrew or Greek to another language. You must be part of the culture. So what motivates the people there, you must know what motivates them. And then when you are putting it in the language, you know how to say it in their language. And Prof mentioned that you must drink their water and all that. One minister of mine went to the north to do some projects. When he got there, they gave him water to drink. And when you look at the water, hey, but he managed and drank some. And when after drinking, the people said, yes, we have proved that you like us. Because he wanted to share the word of God with them. And if he had not drunk it, they would have rejected him outright. So, Prof, what you said was right. Yeah. You need to appreciate the people. You need to understand them. You need to let them feel that you are part of them. And so motivational, some people will prefer, a group motivation. Let's move on, please. Let's come to the next slide. Some people will prefer that. So we have intrinsic versus intrinsic versus, extrinsic motivational drivers that vary across cultures, making it difficult to implement your incentive programs. Some people would prefer personal growth, while others prefer, material rewards. Someone will want to, I'll prefer to travel abroad. I work in the company where we reward people who have excelled at the end of the year with trips. When we got to somebody who was being rewarded, he said no. He preferred, to school in Ghana. He wasn't a Ghanaian. Then he wasn't a Ghanaian at the time we were doing the reward. He said he preferred to go to the university. What's he going to learn? Language, Ghanaian language. So you can see that, people have their, people have different prioritized personal, cultures, incentive, desire for certain incentives. So when you're working with people from different cultures, just learn this. Some people also prefer collectivities versus individualistic. And in Ghana here, we prefer the individuals. When we have the accolades and all that, yes, we like that. We like that as individuals. But in other cultures, they want a group thing. I think there's something from South Africa. There's a word, together. I've forgotten the Swahili, this Swahili phrase. I'm sure one of you
Swahili, yeah, it's Swahili.
Swahili. We are together. When the children were asked to run, and the one who runs first will be given some prize.
Yeah.
So they put the prize there. And the 4 children, when they said P, they helped each other and ran towards the prize. And when the white man asked them, they said, no, we together, we should win. So they all shared the prize. But when you come to certain cultures, it's different. So we need to know the precedent for immediate rewards, versus future benefits. It can vary in cultures. Once you are moving to a culture, I said you must learn. You must Google, you must talk to people. You must talk to people. Yesterday, I attended, it was an interview. I didn't know it was an interview. So I just went and sat there and started talking to the secretary of the board to the company, started asking questions and all that. I didn't know that at the meeting with the chairman and all that, just yesterday, I didn't know that at the meeting with the chairman and all that, the chairman, one of them, the most senior, is not a Ghanaian, it's an Indian. The second is a Ghanaian. And I didn't know they were going to ask me questions, but the very questions I asked the secretary to the board to explain and all that, when I entered the room, they called me and they were the questions they threw at me. So in your culture, as an individual consultant, you think you know everything. But when you are moving to somebody's, domain, even in Ghana here, you are moving from an organization to an organization, you need to learn about the cultures there. You need to know certain things there. And it's so important that motivation is also part of the thing, risk areas. Otherwise, you'll be giving people things and they would rather be hating you for what you are doing for them. You would think that you are giving them the best, and yet you incur their displeasure because their culture, what you are giving them, they will not value it. In your culture, you may value certain things, but when you move to another culture, it's quite different. So these are the things that we need to look at. Prof, can we move on? Okay, I've talked a lot about motivational differences that we must recognize, yes, please, and adapt it. So we have a motivated and cohesive team.
Yeah.
Okay, building trust. I think Prof talked a lot about building trust. And this requires, acknowledging and valuing each member's background. I call it ethnocentric. Some people, even in Ghana here, there are people who pride their tribes above others. So when you are dealing with them, you just have to be careful. Otherwise, you will not achieve anything. If you want to achieve something, you need to manage such expectations and perceptions. There are people like that, but you are moving into another culture. You don't want people fight you or kill you. You want to deliver. You want to befriend people. I know a guy who is working for Wema here. If he has to deal with you and he thinks he doesn't understand what you are saying, he brings in that Wema is a company that has taken over worldwide Unilever. So they are in Ghana here too. They've taken over most of the Unilever things that they do. They will bring in a Ghanaian in Ghana here. And when he's dealing with you and he thinks that he doesn't understand where you are coming from, he brings in the Ghanaian to explain the culture, to him. So culturally, we have diverse teams as a multinational company. If you are working for a multinational company, you have diverse teams, and you need to know the background of these cultures. So when you are dealing with each member of your staff or your team, you value their background. Prof, can we move forward? Prof.
Yes.
So that's what I said, building trust. I said ethnocentric. Yeah, and I even said that it happens in Ghana here. Some people think, they are superb. And if you remember the German War, I have read about the German War, where there's Nazis They felt the Germans were superior human beings to all human beings on this earth. And that's how the war started. So they wanted to capture all the world and make everyone a slave to German. And they started with the Jews. So let's be careful that we are not ethnocentric or we stereotype people. We need to work in collaboration and trust among the team. Especially, I'm happy that I have quite a number of Reverend ministers here. I've always said that, look, God has made us equal. And even Paul writes in Galatians, there's neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor what? Master, neither female or male. Paul has written to us. So we must learn to respect everyone, whether the person is from the north, south, east, west. We need to appreciate the person in the eye of God. And I've always said that, look, Christ comes to us in our culture. So we shouldn't import people's culture. Because he comes to us in our culture, let's respect our culture and respect other people's culture. So as a reverend minister, as a leader in a cross-culture environment, you need to, do away with such stereotyping and biases. Respect everyone. Once the people know that you respect them, you are building trust gradually and you'll be there. Otherwise, you won't get the results. It's like an auditor, external auditor going to audit in the company. If you offend them, you won't get the result. You won't get the data that you need to work with. You won't get the information that you need. So it's leadership in cross-culture organization. Kindly respect the people you are working with, and you build trust gradually. Let's move on, please. So building trust, I said you must acknowledge the varying culture forms and expectations to guarantee that every team member feels valued and respected. When everybody feels valued and respected, you get your result. You'll be making the 75% of your returns. So this challenge requires a strategic approach to communication relationship building to create a cohesive and supportive work environment. So when multinationals send their leaders to various countries and they see that the person is creating problems, they quickly recall the person. Just because the person refuses to learn, to appreciate people, you can imagine, this World Bank people instructing governors at the Bank of Ghana as to what they do. I'm told this one is just on this call. I'm told that about in the 2000s, when we were going to IMF to say that we didn't have money. How are we calling ourselves? Highly indebted hippie. We were calling Ghana a hippie country. Meanwhile, the minister of the economic minister and economic and policy planning or something. That was what we were calling them at the time. He was traveling on business class. The young American guy in his 20s was questioning our economic minister that if people say you don't have money and you are highly indebted, why are you traveling in business class? Can you imagine this young man challenging our economic minister for traveling in business class? So such a person, as soon as the economic minister reported, he was quickly withdrawn from the team. He was quickly withdrawn. Please come back. Yes. So we must build trust by promoting cultural awareness through training and workshops. Encourage active learning to understand diverse perspectives, fostering an inclusive environment where everyone feels valued. I think these three should be able to help us build trust and respect among our team members. Then we can move on. The next one, please. So the next risk I want us to look at is the ethical standard. I think Prof mentioned it. Prof, can you go back a bit? So different norms. Prof, go back a bit.
As you go back.
Go back a slide. I'm saying that different cultural norms around ethics can lead to conflicting interpretations of acceptable business practices. And Prof gave a nice example where in a country, in another culture, giving gift for business was allowed. But in Ghana here, if you have to do it, you have to do it undercover. You cannot do it open, In Britain, same, you cannot. You cannot do it openly. In US, same, you cannot do it openly. If you have to do it, you must mind how you go about it. Please, let's move to another slide. This is because what is, ethical in one country may be unethical in another country. For instance, I look at most of the things we do here. The corruption that we mentioned, we talk so much about, is stealing, complete stealing. If you are in the US, it will be categorized under stealing, under robbery and stealing. But when you come here in Ghana, they say corruption. So that they use the corruption to cover the outright theft that people are stealing from the national coffers. But they call it corruption. But in the US, it's an outright theft of national resources for oneself. So as a leader, you must navigate the complexities, ensuring that your decisions respect the varied ethical frameworks of team members from different cultural backgrounds. You need to understand the culture when you are in a different culture. And this requires a nuanced understanding of cultural differences if you want to foster a cohesive and ethical sound work environment. So what is not done, what is done in your country? If it's not done in Ghana, you move to another culture and it's being done, you need to find out why it's being done. And that's why there's a need to understand and appreciate some of the rules and laws and regulations in other countries. When they are posted to another environment or you move to another environment, you can ask to read about your work, the laws about what you do, how you can handle certain things. You need to read about it because they may be different across jurisdictions. Can we move on, please? Prof, if you can hear me. So I mentioned another issue I mentioned. I don't know if Prof you mentioned. Employee retention challenges. Lack of inclusiveness and misunderstanding. May result in lower employees. Employee satisfaction. And satisfaction. This can impact on the retention rate. What happens is that if they don't like a particular manager had been brought up, like Wilman, the guy there, so he always has a Ghanaian around him. If there's something, he pushes you to the Ghanaian. He doesn't want any trouble. He's from Pakistan. He doesn't want any trouble. He doesn't understand some of the things we do here. So if there's something, then he pushes you to the Ghanaian to handle you. If you are not careful and you don't understand this cultural, inclusiveness, they'll paint you as someone who dislikes, the employees. And if you are not careful, you'll be called back home. It does happen all the time. You hear that the person has been transferred. No, they have called him back home because his relationship with the team is not working well. Maybe the person is carrying himself above everyone. So it's a risk area that we need to look at if we are working in a cross-culture organization. Thank you. Can we move on? Prof,
yes.
I hope to finish by 1:30. Okay, so team cohesion, I think we talked about teams a lot when we talk about decision making and then conflict resolution. We've talked so much about team cohesion. It's so important. Diverse cultural perspective can sometimes lead to challenges in building a unified and cooperative team. And if we know that perspective, some people don't want to work with women, we need to understand it. So in some cultures, you can't bring the men and women together. It's something that you need to know. So you don't go and start pushing them to accept it. Last year I was in a program in Abu Dhabi, and I saw certain things. So I asked one of the indigenes who was also at the program, lady, that, oh, why da 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 da. When I'm in those jurisdictions, I hardly talk to men because they don't accept a woman in the Middle East. I'm sure some of you know that they don't accept a man and a woman working closely. In Dubai itself, you don't have much problem. But when you move out of Dubai to maybe Abu Dhabi or the outskirts, Abu Dhabi is the capital, Dubai is the commercial capital. You can, move with men, chat with men and all that. But when you move to Abu Dhabi, where they consider the place as a holy city and all that, there are certain things you cannot do. So when I'm there at Abu Dhabi for a program, I keep to myself. So I asked the lady, there was something. Then I needed to give it to a man. And I asked the lady if I could do it because the guy I could see that needed some help. And the lady said, oh, you can do it, but I can accompany you. So we need to be asking questions. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in trouble in some cultures. We need to build a cohesive or a team of cohesion on issues that have diverse or different perspective on culture. Can we move on, please? I'm left with just about 5 minutes. So, resistance to change. Some cultural rigidity or hesitation towards adopting new practices may pose obstacles to your organization progress. I've mentioned that you have to go about this in a wise and a gradual way. You bring the person on board. If you want to rush, you run yourself into trouble. So there are people who will not your cultures, a diehard. You can imagine I've eaten kenke since my childhood. Then around the age 60, you are asking me to stop eating kenke. It will be a different thing. Eating our food is also part of our culture. It will be a difficult thing because that's what I've been trained to eat. So it's so difficult to be a difficult thing. So we need to, we have to do it gradually, slowly, win the people before we can, introduce those changes that may be inimical or may oppose progress of our organization. So we need to be careful when we are doing this. Shall we move on? I'm left with just about 3 minutes. Sometimes time zone constraints. Time zone constraint. We are in Ghana here. You want to send something to US. Forensic office is about 7 hours, and this time is about 7 hours, behind Ghana. So if I'm sending something to them on Friday, I must know when to send it. If I'm expecting something from them on Monday or sending an email and I want to speak to someone around 5 a.m., I must know that these people, they may be 1 a.m. or maybe 12 a.m. at the 1 a.m. here. So we need to take the time zone in coordinating across different cultures. We need to take the time zone into account when we are communicating. Otherwise, it will disrupt the workflow. It's something that we need to take, we need to be, concerned with. We want to, we put it on the radar that, this is the time, these people may be sleeping. In Philippines, for instance, Manila, I was in Manila and I wanted to send something to my office. Manila is about 11 hours, ahead of Ghana. They are in the middle of the sea, about 11 hours. So sometimes you are even lost as to whether Ghana is awake or Ghana is sleeping. But as a leader, you need to learn as to when your country or the people that you be communicating, when they are awake and when they are sleeping. Otherwise, you have a problem. It will disrupt your own workflow and you will not be a happy person because you may not achieve your target. Shall we move on, please? Prof, if you are there, let's move on.
I've done it.
Okay. So one of our one of the participants mentioned product financial risk.
Yeah.
And I said, excellent. Sometimes we don't study the market, and then I mean the cross culture. We are talking talking about multinational cross culture, environment. Sometimes we don't study the product that will work in the particular environment. Then we push the product there, and that's how I blame the multinationals for creating a lot of problems for some of the African countries. They push the product there, the product doesn't sell, and then they charge it against the profit. I mean, the revenue, the profits coming from that particular country. It's not fair. So there's a need to understand the local preferences of what product works and or service alignment with the target market. Otherwise, you will not make. That's why African countries will suffer a lot when it comes to this multinational company, because they bring things here, even spare parts that are outmoded. They will send it to, the African countries. Ghana, I've witnessed it because of my experience as an external auditor. I've witnessed this several times. So the Ghanaian company will be making losses, and then they'll be making their profits. But I believe it's changing now. This is about more than 20 years ago. So I believe it's changing now. But as a leader in the multicultural company, you need to appreciate and understand the local, cultural preferences for certain products. If you know that you are sending shibboleth to Ghana, shipping, and Ghanaians don't like shibboleth, you don't need to bring it to Ghana. It will be sitting there. Maybe Ghana will be regarded as a country where people, do not like vehicles. But we love vehicles, but we have our taste. We love vehicles, but we have our taste. If you give a V8, we love the V8. So these are things that with the market-specific misjudgment, we need to appreciate it as a leader in the culture, in the different culture. So can we move to the next one? As we bring this, I mentioned legal and regulatory differences. We need to navigate, those varying law and regulations across the cultures. Navigating it can be complex and risk-prone. But I said you need to read the laws, so we are not found wanting. If you want to, somebody does something, you want to query, you need to know the laws. Even here, when I sit on boards, when they have to sack a staff, I ask them to check with the Labour Commission because I don't want any trouble. Check with the Labour Commission as to what to do, or the process. The Labour Commission gives you that, because when the law will always favor the employee. So as a leader in the multicultural organization, wherever you find yourself, you too need to know the laws and regulations there, so you don't find yourself wanting. The next one, please. The next one. Prof.
I'm coming. The next. Do you have any?
Okay, so we are finishing.
Yeah.
Okay. We are finishing. Dear colleagues, participants, we have come to the end of the presentation, and I'll pause here for your questions, please.
For questions. Hey, my Momo is there. They are not seeing. So thank you, Dr. Rebecca.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have not received any single Momo for our service. Please, we are pleading. We have about 10 attendees on and off. We have not received a single Momo.
There should be a last slide. Prof, there should be a last slide.
I'm coming. Somebody want me to send a welcome question.
This thing, you don't know how to put it there because it's not here. James
it's not
says,
here. Okay, I'm sending it again. Oh.
So at this point, ladies and gentlemen,
somebody is there now. See if you can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
You can see it now. Okay.
Yes.
So please, attendees, we have about 10 attendees. You say this is your last slide or what? Which one?
Yes, the last slide is this one. Yes,
Is
thanks.
this one.
Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Rebecca. Fantastic presentation. Yeah, very, very good presentation. Yeah. Name Emmanuel Teiti. Okay, I'm coming.
So, any question from my?
I'm coming, madam. I'm coming. I'll pick the question for you. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, please, it has been a long day, and yeah. So we are now picking questions as well as our Momo. We are picking questions as well as our Momo. Questions. Madam, thank you for this. Is a very nice presentation. We like it, and we want to welcome questions. Questions, please. Questions. Thank you. Yes, questions. Please ask questions. That is questions that will help us to know that you understand what a cross-culture leadership in international organization. Hello?
Okay, there's something in the chat box.
It's still not in the chat box.
Oh no, it's in the chat box.
Or somebody has asked question.
No. Your Momo is on the chat box. It's
okay.
Scam.
Okay.
About 5 minutes, 2 minutes ago.
So please, we have questions. We want to welcome questions. We want you to ask questions. It is by asking questions that we air the understanding for everybody.
Yes. Oh, you didn't understand it.
No, they did. I know they did. They are my people, so I know they did. Yeah. So we want questions.
Dr. David, can I hear from you? They are all muted. Did you mute them?
We are welcoming questions.
I'm here, but for now, no question.
No question. Okay. Okay. Questions.
Is it David?
Yeah.
Is it Dr. David?
Dr. David. Yes, Dr. David. Oh. So any contribution, if anybody have any contribution, some case study that you could share, that will help all of us because we are learning. Cross-cultural leadership is very, very important. If you move from surfing to dolphin and you find yourself in a different place entirely, that if you don't apply some of these things, you may think the people you are dealing with doesn't love you, but maybe it is the way you are going about things. Just our north here, you move from south here to the north and you don't apply certain things or you don't do your certain things where you may think the people hate you, but not. Maybe it might be the way you are going about things. So if we learn together, it's help us. It's help us. In fact, this topic, I'll call a repetition of this topic because the way I'm expecting people to come when we start the Alpha short courses. I'll call, and the same group will go and present again. I'll call a second round edition on this topic because it's very, very important that everybody need to learn about. It's very, very
so let's find out from the participants if they think as important as you think.
Okay,
the topic
so
is.
Ask for them. Ask, Madam, ask.
Okay. So let me ask Samuel Osai. Samuel. Reverend Samuel. Maybe if you can unmute, I'll ask a question.
Yeah, Madam, it's all right now with them.
Okay. So Samuel, is he on call? Samuel, are you on call?
Reverend Samuel Osai? Yeah, he's there.
No.
Yeah, he has now muted.
Yes, he's on call. Okay, so Samuel, I'm sure you answered the question on the financial risk.
It is Reverend Joseph. the
Okay.
administrator.
Okay. Then someone joined later. Someone joined later. Okay. So Samuel, what did you hear? What did you hear in the presentation?
Well, I heard a lot, and especially
so can you share some of
on the part of building trust.
Madam is talking about building trust.
Yeah. I hope you're a Reverend Minister too. Samuel, are you a Reverend Minister?
No, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. You'll be one soon. I think I shared for the Reverend Ministers, I shared something on the one of our Reverend Minister who was on a project in the north. And then he wanted to share the word with the group of the people when they are finished work. So when he went and he moved to the village, he was going to share the word. They gave him water to drink. And then I think I shared with you. Then looking at the water, it was a difficult thing, but he managed to drink some. And as soon as he finished drinking, the leader said, now we can listen to you. If you have not drunk the water, we'll never, accept you in this village. So that was how he was able to present the word to them. So for us as Christians, we need to, imbibe some of these things that we are learning here, the cross-culture thing, to identify with people, as Paul said in his writing, that he identified with the weak, and then he also identified to Jews. He made himself a Jew. To the Gentile, he made himself a Gentile. So when you are working across culture, especially those of us who want to spread the word, let's see how we identify with the people, the vulnerable and the poor. And I've always said that in my other presentations, when we are visiting a community, we are going to a community like a Zongo or a poor area. You don't dress with gold, all kinds of things on you. So is culture leadership. You know where you are going, so try and identify with them. And when you identify with them, they give you that respect and support that you need to achieve your economic target or your returns target. That's all we are about this afternoon, this morning. So thank you, Samuel. Anyone wants to comment? I just want to know that you appreciate what we've done so far. We don't have evaluation form, but next time we'll have the evaluation form.
Yeah.
For you to complete. So, James, can I hear you? James. I think they've dropped.
They are still there. Yeah.
I can see only 5 people there.
Yes, they just say most have left and okay. Yeah, okay.
James, can I hear you?
Some are sending their mumbos now.
James, can I hear you? James, I'm listening to you. Oh, he's still driving. He was driving.
Hello.
Hello, James. Are you still driving?
No, please. Yes, I'm in the office, so sometimes people come to me. Louis,
okay.
Okay. Hello.
Oh, hello, James. Just to hear from you what you've learned from this presentation.
Yes, I must say that I've benefited a lot from the seminar topics that you have given us. And they are very practical because I've seen most of the things that you are mentioning in the course of administration and cross-culture, because I remember when I was first posted to Kwame Danso, the people I've never known before. I've never heard their language before. But when I began learning their language, I realized that their level of appreciation and acceptance was very high. And they were motivated, encouraged to always speak to me in their language. And when Madam mentioned that they will feel sense of belonging and feel that you're part of them, it was very practical to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you too for adding to it. Can I have a SET, S-E-T? I don't have your full name, so I'm using the S-E-T to be your name. SET.
All right.
Can
I
you?
also learned about the motivational aspect of it, that we have two types, the intrinsic and then extrinsic. That people, like, some is by word of appreciation, that when they do a job, you appreciate them, so thank you. You motivate them through words. And others too, they want it through maybe money, or some, as you give an example of somebody you had wanted to reward, and the person said he wanted to go to school and learn Ghanaian language. So which means motivation comes in diverse ways.
Exactly.
It's not always about the financial aspect of it.
Exactly.
And I also learned that in some jurisdictions, like you give an example in Japan, for instance, when you are talking, they are very quiet. But in America, they want you to respond. So you need to learn all these things, be able to help you to cross,
I like how active you've been. You are so active on this call. Thank you so much, Seth. But I wish I knew your full name.
Hello?
What's the full name? Yes, I have SVT. Yes, what's the full name?
Hello?
Yes, Seth, I can hear you loud and clear. Seth, I can hear you. It looks like you can't hear me. I can hear you. I think he has a challenge. So, Prof.
Yes.
It's getting to our closing time. So, we need to do the closing ceremony.
Okay, so thank you. I have only received only one. We are hoping that all the 10 people that attended will send us their. I have only one here by Reverend James, who just
James has been asking.
Yeah,
He's
Reverend
been asking.
James. Okay. Somebody sent me information through email. Okay, we're accepted. We're accepted. The rest, we are expecting that you will send it. You will send it to us just after closing. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we will see you again. We will see you.
But we need a evaluation form.
Yeah,
so,
we will send the evaluation form. We have their emails. If I'm from Granson, I can identify those who attended. And we shall send them certificates and all these things. We, at least, like Reverend James, I don't know what if he's a Reverend James. It might be
James Imbima.
He sent the money, so we use the names on the money for the certificate. I don't know if it's okay.
No, they have to give us their real names.
Yes, that's my real name. The name I send them.
That is your real name, and so that is what we use. Also, we are saying we are praying that if you are sending your money, you give us your real name. You reference your real name so that we can use that for the certificate.
Oh, okay.
We can use that for the certificates. And we are praying that please send it to us. We humbly want to say that we are expecting. And thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate your presence. So thank you very, very, very much. Thank you. And we meet again. Thank you.
So
then we ask one reverend to pray for us. One reverend to pray for give us closing prayer.
Maybe James will do that.
Reverend James will do that.
James
can pray for us. or Reverend Joseph, any of them?
Joseph is not on call. He has dropped.
Joseph has dropped. Okay. So, Reverend James, pray for us. Pray for us. Okay. Okay.
I don't know whether it's still there. Maybe we can answer it.
Oh, Reverend said, pray for us. Reverend said, Madam, say the closing prayer so that we go. Say it yourself.
All right. Shall we pray? If you people are on call, Heavenly Father, we thank you for the sessions we've had, all that we've learned today. They are all in the Bible. We thank you for Holy Spirit for guiding us to reiterate what you've already taught us in the Bible. That we must have respect for each other, build consensus and build trust. We must resolve conflicts, taking cultures into consideration. We must communication. You give us language so we can communicate with each other. You give us the grace to know what will motivate the people we work with in various cultures. Lord, what you've learned, help us to impact on others so they will also together will grow as one people in the peace that you gave us when you came on earth, your goodwill of peace. If we are doing all this, we'll work as a vibrant team, and our corporations, our organizations will make good returns, and will also be made happy when the returns come up. Lord, our professor has said that we'll have a session again. Make time for us and bring many more people so they will learn. I pray that you, as we return to our respective endeavors, grant us all that it takes, Lord, to implement and execute our respective endeavors unto your praise and honor. We say thank you for the enablement. Even our guests who sat down for almost 4 hours, we are grateful to you for their lives. Bless them. So what they've learned, they also send it, convey it to other people, and help other people so they can work effectively in multicultural environment. We bless you. We exalt you. In Jesus' name we are praying with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Madam, thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, and bye. You'll hear from us again. You'll hear from us again. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you.
Thank you.